Hey guys and gals, now we're here from Drakewing Gaming and some of you new man Twitter the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you to the Let's Play episode of Angels with Scaly Wings. Now, I'm not entirely sure whose playthrough this is going to be, so we're just going to go through it, and I guess we'll just pick the first one we can romance, other than Remy. So I'm going to try and go for another Dragon's Ending this time, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Alarm Chain, you are up, and let's go. I wonder who this is going to be a run for. Alright, continue your journey, Keegan. Alright. Nice. Trauma. Chapter 1. Back into the thick of it. Oh, the ending to this game made me want so much more. I know there's a sequel coming. Alright. I woke from uneasy dreams looking at an unfamiliar ceiling. Just for a moment I wondered where I was before the events of last night all came back to me. After a good stretch, I looked around the room, illuminated by the sunlight coming in from the window. Outside in the distance, the portal I had emerged from proudly stood on the peak of a small hill. Getting ready, I noticed something lying on the table. It was a note Remy had left for me in case I needed anything. Whoa, what? I needed anything. Along with his own home phone and work number, there were also some numbers for delivery of food and other necessities, as well as emergency and even janitorial services. He had certainly thought of everything, even though I now had to wonder what a dragon plumber might look like. My musings were interrupted when the doorbell rang. When I opened the door, I was met by another dragon. My records indicate that you have already experienced this section in a satisfactory manner. If you wish, we could skip sections like these, which you have already cleared before. No need to read everything again, isn't that great? How is this different from just using the skip buttons like Control and Tab, you might ask? Well, here's the deal. Using the skip buttons can be tedious, especially when encountering puzzles you've already solved before when faced with long dialogue trees. Sometimes it's easier to just jump over a whole section than speeding it up, So, during relevant sections, I will come in and ask if you don't want to just outright jump ahead. Sound good so far? Anyway, there are times when you might still want to choose not to jump ahead like this and use the skip buttons as usual. That's totally fine. Both methods have their own advantages and disadvantages. Jumping ahead will often skip minor choices that can be made, especially during character selections with lots of dialogue options. This can include parts that would unlock new achievements. Oh. Jumping ahead will often skip... However, jumping ahead will never skip important choices that you have to make, such as those that could result in good endings or the choices you make during your investigations. It's up to you whether or not you want to use it or not, but it might save you some time. Either way, the choice is yours. Would you like to skip ahead? I don't think I want to skip ahead, y'all, because it's saying that you might miss out on small dialogue and stuff like that. They'll give you, achievements, so... We'll see. But we'll see. Let's see. Okay. No, I don't want to skip ahead. As you wish. Alright. Yay! Oh, God, it's so sad what happened to you, Sebastian. You deserve better. Hello! You must be Keegan. I'm Sebastian, and I'll be your escort. Or security, I suppose. Usually I work for the police, though. Nice to meet you. One second, y'all. It is possibly Sebastian time. Oh, well, it's water time. It's water time. He seemed a lot smaller than Remy, and when he somewhat nervously extended his arm towards me, I noticed that he apparently only walked on his hind legs. The two forelimbs instead having distinct arms, hands, and fingers. Shake his hand. Shake his hand. Kiss his hand. Shake his hand. Oh. When I took his hand into mine, preparing to kiss it, I could feel the individual bumps and scales on his rough skin. Ha! Nice to meet you too, Sebastian. So where are you taking me? Straight to business, eh? We're gonna visit the plant where they're making our generators. They have some news for you, or so I've heard. Reza will be there too. Sounds great. Just follow me. While we walked, I was under the impression we were purposely avoiding the busier parts of the town, instead straying towards the edge of small alleys as to not garner too much attention. Even then we got the occasional stare. After just a couple of minutes, we arrived at our destination where we were met by Reza, as well as yet another dragon, a vicious-looking beast that didn't stay too close to him. He's, right there next to him. Hey! Reza, long time no see! How true that is. Good to finally see another human face around here. What a coincidence to have you of all people show up. Yeah, I guess those degrees aren't so useless after all. By the way, who's your friend? Just my bodyguard, same as yours. Don't bother him, he doesn't talk much. Heh. He looks grumpy. That's what he always looks like, and yes, that does mean he's always grumpy. The two dragons exchanged a few words, and as I met the gaze of the larger, tenebrous dragon a few paces from us, Sebastian turns toward me and spoke up again. Hey, Keegan, this is Maverick. Nice to meet you. Yeah, whatever. Just don't expect me to give you any special treatment like everyone else is, and we'll be good. What are you talking about? So you're saying you haven't noticed the stairs and how they all treat you like you're the next messiah or something? No, I just thought... We're not the ones making a big deal out of this. You are. We're just here to get what we agreed on, and then we'll be gone. If anything, I'd actually prefer if you left us alone, but you're the one who insists on following me around everywhere I go. A growl escaped the darker dragon's trembling lips as he bared his teeth at Reza. Alright, that's quite enough. Let's just all go inside already, shall we? After you. The crisis was quickly averted as we entered the building, which was characterized by its many floors, high ceilings, and long, narrow hallways as Sebastian led us to our destination. There you are! I was waiting for you! Oh, Anna. You deserve better, Anna. Oh, wait a minute! I thought we were going to meet the guys from production. What are you doing here? They're only coming in later today, so you'll just have to make do with me. I see. Well, Keegan, this is Anna. She kind of manages the building, though actually she's more involved with the research wing rather than production engineering. Nice to meet you. My pleasure. I have something for you, by the way. It'll take them a while to make all the generators we promised, but we've got one for you here. Feel free to send it home and give it a test. That's great. I'll take it. Looks a little small if you ask me. Don't underestimate its power. Oh, and do be careful not to drop it. Sure. I'll be waiting outside while you do your thing, Keegan. I suppose I'll wait for you outside as well. What thing? Oh, have you brought the PDA? Of course. Here you go. Alright, now give this thing a test run. The PDA lit up as her hand swiftly moved around its interface in calculated motions. By the way, would you consider letting me run some tests on you as well? It would only take a drop of your blood. What? Why? I work in biology, so obviously this kind of thing would be very interesting to us. I'd share the results with you, of course. Sure, why not? Great! She was quick to produce a small device from a drawer, which from a glance reminded me of a test tube. Now, if you would give me your hand, please. As I reached out to her, she took my hand into hers before she pressed the device into the back of my hand. I winced as pain jolted through my hand. Something sharp drove itself through my skin, and shortly afterwards, a droplet of blood was sucked into the tube attached to the small needle. Thanks! You're welcome? Looks like your PDA is good, by the way, so we're just about done here. And since we're both in biology, it could be interesting if you want to meet me some other time as well. Here's my number. Alright. See you soon. Well, that was interesting. Did she ask you for your blood, too? Yeah. Did you give it to her? No. Yes. No. Yes. Oh, well, it's your choice. We've got no idea what they might do with it, though. I'm getting hungry. How about some breakfast? I'm all for it. I can't stand early mornings like this. That shouldn't be a problem. There's a cafe not far from here. What do you say, Mavers? I wouldn't mind to grab a bite myself. Well, that settles it then. Heh. Section in a satisfactory manner. Would you like to skip the investigation? Nah. As you wish. 1 second, y'all. Water time. Luckily for us, the cafe was mostly empty when we arrived. It was still pretty early in the day. Reza was quick to lead me to a table for two, prompting the dragons to get one of their own at the other side of the restaurant. Yeah, finally! I can't stand that guy being on my tail all the damn time. Yeah, I'm not buying their stick about how it's to keep us safe. We were approached by an individual who appeared to be the waitress of the cafe. She was an interesting-looking dragon who, unlike the others I had seen so far, was more akin to a wyvern, possessing 2 rather large wings as her forelimbs, which resembled those of an oversized bat. Oh, it's the humans! You were able to correctly identify our species based on what we look like. Congratulations. That's a good one. Welcome to our... I don't know. I want to give Aideen a like southern accent for some reason. I don't know why. To me, she strikes me as a southern gal. Let's see. Welcome to our establishment. My name's Aideen, and I'll be your waitress today. What can I bring you to? Let's see, it wasn't. Yeah, me too. Just make it quick. Sure thing. 2 scrambled eggs of bacon coming right up. As I was saying, if you look at the big picture, don't you think there's just something off about this whole place? Where is it, really? If this is supposed to be a completely separate place from Earth, or even a different dimension, some things just don't add up. Don't you think so, too? Not sure. Can't really say much more with you-know-who over there. He's probably listening to us right now. I let my gaze wander. I saw that Maverick was looking in my direction. Our eyes met briefly, his expression not showing any discernible emotion, while I wondered whether it had been just a coincidence or if he really was able to hear us from this distance. I do have some theories, and if I'm right, we might be in trouble. What kind of trouble? What are you talking about? Shh, be quiet. I'll let you know more as soon as I can, but for now, let's just play along. After all, we already have one of these babies. He patted the generator box for emphasis. God knows we need them. Oh, there she comes. The female returned, astounding me with her ability to balance the dishes on the edges of her wings. She placed her forelimb on the table and proceeded to move the dishes from her wing to us with a gentle push of her snout. There you go. Enjoy. Thanks. You're welcome. I was wondering what kind of breakfast could be had in a place like this, but I was pleasantly surprised to find it quite as I was used to. The only real difference was that they apparently didn't use cutlery. When the waitress brought out the meals to the 2 dragons across the cafe and exchanged a few words with them, Reza leaned forward and whispered something to me. I'll send you a letter with a coded message later. You'll know what to do. Reza rose from his seat before he made it known that he still had a few things to do and left the restaurant, followed shortly after by the larger of the 2 dragons. Laters. I wasn't in a hurry, so I spent a few more minutes in contemplation while I looked out the window and finished my breakfast. Not that this whole situation was already bizarre enough, but there was also now the vague sense of danger conveyed by Reza's earlier words. I did not even have an idea what kind of threat might be lurking out there. Eventually, I got up, ready to be on my way for whatever else the day might bring. Are you done? Yeah, sure am. How'd you like it? It was alright. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Just wait outside and I'll handle the rest here. Sure thing. I stepped outside, taking in the scenery of this strangely familiar world. In the short time I was here, I had already found the similarities between their world and our own utterly fascinating. Save it right here, y'all. Delicious. Good music, go. After all, we were talking about an unmapped place with never-before-seen form of life. As far as discoveries were concerned, even something as simple as a new unicellular organism or even bacteria would have been remarkable. Yet here I was, standing in the middle of a village evidently built by this race of intelligent talking dragons with a society not unlike our own. Reza didn't seem to share the same interest and instead was more spent with the generator, but given our reasons for coming here in the first place, I couldn't blame him for his enthusiasm being focused on something else. My thoughts were interrupted as something suddenly zipped past me just a little too close, causing me to stumble back. It was a rather small dragon with a bag clamped in its maw who apparently had somewhere to be. She's so cute. Run, run, dragon. I regained my footing and watched as it disappeared into the distance. Even though I'd seen enough dragons to recognize their variations in size, color, and other attributes, I guess this one must have been a juvenile of its species. Shortly afterwards, Sebastian joined me outside, having taken care of the tab. I gave her a generous tip on your behalf. I hope you don't mind. In any case, now that you've given us the PDA and Rest as the generator, you're free for today. So, if you want to go anywhere in particular, just let me know, or I could show you around town. I was tempted to be given a tour, but considering Reza's words, I wanted to be careful and not stray too far without knowing more about this world first. I think I'll stay home for today. I still have to get used to everything, you know? I'll just accompany you back then. There we are. Home sweet home. For now, at least. Well, if you need anything, I'll be outside until my shift ends. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. See you tomorrow. See ya. See ya. I hadn't really looked at the apartment much, so I spent the rest of the day investigating it and relaxing. I considered checking out some of the phone numbers Rumi had left me, but I thought it was better to keep a low profile for now. I found the kitchen fully stocked with plenty of groceries, though the variety was wasted on me. I hadn't been a particularly great cook in the first place, but what was more, I didn't even recognize some of the things I found there. Whether they were edibles that we had back home I just didn't know about, or something completely alien I wasn't sure, but I didn't want to take the risk of eating anything I didn't know. So, alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a super thanks, or tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!